What is the difference between a first and the second guy? First guy's working out like a madman. On a daily basis, usually he hits the gym, does his calisthenics workout, bodyweight training, eats clean, controls his macros, gets sufficient sleep, still looks like a bag of trash. Second guy, on the other hand, does not control calories or macros. He eats a protein-dominant diet. He eats when he's hungry, does not follow a macro plan where he's cutting carbs, cutting fats, only eating certain food groups because everything else is off the menu, is quote-unquote unclean. Also works out like a madman, just like the first guy does. However, the physique, no comparison. The only difference between the first and the second guy is nutrition. It's not because the second guy is eating less. It's because he's eating the right things, food selection. He's training the body in a way that makes him stronger consistently, that stimulates muscle growth and high metabolic function. So he does not need to cut carbohydrates, to cut calories, and to live this mind-numbing fitness lifestyle. You see, when I first got into this game, almost 20 years ago, I dreaded the thought of doing what the magazines, back in those days, we used to read magazines. The magazines were telling me to do. Eat 5-6 meals of protein and carbohydrates, low fats every single day. I was in my late teens, early 20s, and even back then with nothing to do in my life, realistically speaking, no responsibilities. Even back then, I dreaded the thought of living like that. What a miserable existence. So I went to look for a method. I wanted to find something that delivered results physically, mentally, in terms of my energy levels and cognitive performance without living this meathead lifestyle. I didn't want to carry around my Tupperware meals and eat plastic chicken every couple hours to keep my protein synthesis elevated. I knew there had to be a better way, a more authentic way, a more natural way of doing this. I've got in the best shape of my life, eating 1 to 2 meals a day, not controlling for calories, and eating a protein-dominant diet. Yes, I train. I always train, brother. Ever since I hit 18 years of age, I trained without any real time off. However, it was only when I learned to control my food in a way that made sense to me, and in a way, most importantly, that delivered the results that I always wanted, I started looking like this. You see, you can eat the perfect diet, the perfect macros, perfectly clean meals, train your butt off in the gym, but if you don't understand the underlying, the fundamental rules, and if you do not apply day in, day out, this knowledge that you have, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. And brother, this game is a lot of fun. Once you get to a place where your metabolism is firing and you don't have to limit what you eat, how much you eat, you can just live free. That's right, even when you're only consuming 1 to 2 meals a day, that is true freedom, brother. Freedom from hunger, freedom from food obsession, always thinking about your food, your meals, freedom from having to micromanage the details, i.e., I have to eat this many calories every day. I have to hit this many carbohydrates, fats, and proteins every single day. That is a life of misery, especially if it does not deliver the results you always wanted. So I love this game at this point. My most successful team members love this game at this point because it has given us tremendous freedom to go out to eat, to enjoy foods and meals with the people closest to us, and to not be tied to a specific workout routine or a specific lifestyle that we don't actually enjoy living every single day. You see, the workouts that we do are also very simple, very straightforward, very goal-oriented. I don't spend hours upon hours every day, let alone every week, training my body. I get it done. 15, 20, 25 minutes, 3, 4, 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, and that's it. I actually enjoy training. The training brings me tremendous pleasure. The routine brings me tremendous pleasure. And at the end of the day, I get to enjoy the results that I always wanted. So don't be like the first guy, doing everything by the book, textbook macros, textbook workout split, and then still walking around with 10, 15 pounds of extra flubber around your waist because you still haven't grasped how this game works. Protein dominant diet, high intensity progressive workouts, sufficient sleep, sufficient sunlight exposure, and then you give it time. Let me just briefly mention the 1 to 2 meals. How do you get your calories in 1 to 2 meals a day? How do you not just starve? Very simple. I am a fat kid at heart. I love to eat. So when I say 1 to 2 meals, those are 1 to 2 feedings, if you will. Those are time periods throughout my day, usually at dinner time, where I consume my calories. And that might be 90 minutes, that might be 2 hours, that might be up to 3, 4 hours that I eat on and off until I get my protein in and until I get full. Very simple, I eat to satiety and I allow myself to naturally auto-regulate caloric intake, energy intake. So some days I'm less hungry, I will eat less. Other days, I feel like I could eat a horse, and I do. So we're talking about feeding windows, periods in the day where you eat, and you eat until you're fully satisfied. Food selection has to be on point. It has to be a protein dominant diet. No need to ever cut carbohydrates. There's no need to ever eat a low-fat diet. And there's no need to live in a way, in a manner that is not enjoyable to you. This is supposed to enhance your life experience. This is supposed to make everything better, not supposed to make you miserable. So again, I love this lifestyle. I love my workouts. I love my meals. I love this day-to-day that I've created that also gives me the results that I always wanted. Guys, I'm gonna break my fast with the first meal of the day. It's probably gonna be some eggs, a lot of eggs, maybe a little bit of oatmeal and Greek yogurt. And this is what we do. Another meal eaten later in the day that's also gonna be protein-based, protein dominant. And then I'll have whatever goodies I feel like having at the end of the day. Life is good. Time to start living it well. Talk to you guys soon.